All right, hello everyone. Welcome back. We're getting through this series one episode at a time. This is Mormon Wives season 2. This is episode 9. Let's see what happens. Remember, this is philosophy through pop culture. My name is Brittany Simon. These are real people with real lives. Please don't send any hate or any negative energy towards them. Just keep it here in this comment section over on my page, because even though, we're in this little bubble here, we don't want to take this bubble over there. We want to leave them over there in their own little Mormon bubble, because as we've learned, they do weaponize their audiences against people. I certainly don't want Taylor fans in my comment sections, because I see the way that they, as social media people, do weaponize that prominence, and they have a much larger audience. So let's leave that over there. Let's keep our comments over here. And with that said, let's see what happens. Let's watch their life to learn about ours, because that's really the perk of watching real people put their lives out there. So let's see what we learn.
Is it weird that the group's down to 7 right now?
I feel small.
Kayla and I were together last night, and Jordan got a call from Dakota. That's how we found out she wasn't coming. And I was like, oh. Yeah, I think she's just not mentally able to do this, which makes sense, but...
Taylor's not here, and so that feels a lot better to me. I think she's
curious how the event will go now that Taylor's not coming.
And for good reason. I think she should be scared of me.
Demi doing the whole she should be scared of me thing is just ugh, I don't like it. It's not cute.
I'm hopeful that Mom Talk will be able to kind of repair some of the friendships within this group with the toxicity not present.
Okay, so we're putting, how I said, oh, Jen's gone, they're gonna make Demi the bad guy. But now Demi's spinning it to make Taylor the bad guy. We're all really the bad guy, I guess. I don't know, man.
I will say the energy without having Taylor here is nice. Not feeling like I'm walking on eggshells.
I think it definitely sucks that Taylor is not coming on this girls' trip. And now I feel bad because I told Taylor that I'm going to have her back at St. Anne's, and I didn't. I definitely think that Demi is kind of at fault for the group's divide right now. Taylor did wrong her in some situations, but so did Demi to bring a child into it. You just don't cross those lines.
It's interesting because Demi brought up Taylor's kid and the arrest and the alleged abuse that didn't happen, but she was accused of. Taylor, we covered this in the first season, and Layla's you just don't bring kids into it. But the thing is no one's ever bringing kids into it, right? We're bringing your parenting into it. I really think I'm sick of hearing this from people why are you talking about my kids? I'm talking about you. No one is blaming your 4-year-old. We're blaming you for being a bad parent. So this narrative of oh, Demi shouldn't have brought kids into it. I am shocked that any of you are parents. You are all so unfit to be parents. But I think most people are unfit to be parents. So yeah, I am critical. I'm not talking about your kids. Your kids are angels. They're victims to having you as parents. What are you talking about? I mean, everyone's doing their best, and I get that. But yeah, I think all these people have displayed unfitness to raise the next generation of voters. Thank you.
I have not spoken with Jen since our conversation where she stormed out, and I know she's really spiteful towards both me and Demi right now. So I'm very curious to see what she has to say.
To all of us?
Yes.
Okay, Jen just sent a group message, a group video to everybody.
I just came out of therapy. As you guys probably know, I'm pregnant, and the first trimester is absolute hell. I've been in some of the darkest places of my life, and I'm focusing on not only on my physical health, but my mental health. I've been hurting, and because of that, I think I've maybe hurt some of you, and I'm really sorry. Anyways, love you guys. Hope to talk to you soon.
Hey, that was a nice video. Jen has an interesting demeanor. I will say Jen's demeanor as a person always feels to me like I'm going to use this word, but it's not the right word. So let's be a little autistic right here and use synonyms here. Fake, half pulled away, not transparent, a little on edge, walled up. She always feels like she's doing something, but I don't feel the embodiment of it. I don't feel it from her. And as an autistic person who understands how, life through sort of how it feels in my body, separate from listening to your feelings, which we talked about last episode. It's I'm not getting the confirmation, but it's a nice message. But yeah, why don't I feel reassured by it? Maybe that's just myself. I think I'm on edge with the whole group because I don't think I could, I'm in a toxic relationship with mom talk. That's what it is. I think I'm in a toxic relationship with them where like, how am I supposed to rebuild any faith in any of us after all of this betrayal, ladies? How am I as an audience member supposed to have any faith in this group? So everything I see feels inauthentic in the way it would feel if you were Taylor and Dakota dating. Yeah, that's what it feels like as an audience member. Oh, interesting. I wonder how I would feel if I was watching this show and I wasn't reviewing it for YouTube. How would I feel? I think I would feel probably a little bit like I would feel as annoyed, but maybe I'm trying to do so much emotional labor to see this from a philosophical and a more compassionate lens. But because I'm doing that, I'm doing all the emotional labor for people that I would normally just discount as like trash TV. So if I was watching this on my own and not for work, I would just be enjoying it as trash TV, which means I wouldn't care about anybody. But since I'm trying to like evoke empathy, I'm struggling because there's like so much toxicity that it feels like I'm back in a toxic friend dynamic, like, or like a bad relationship. I feel like this is what I felt like being in a toxic relationship. It just felt so bad every time. I just felt like I want to be anywhere but here. It felt like this cannot be my life forever. Can it? Like, you know what I'm saying? How do you guys feel as audience members? You know, do you feel the same way? Is the show like draining? Like, is it intense? Are you like activating your empathy to make sure like you're seeing everyone for the nuance, like the nuance that they are as individuals? Or are you just watching it as like trash TV that's like separate from you?
For me, as someone that's like dealt with like mental health issues, I feel like it's hard because I feel like that trumps everything in my opinion, you know? I know what she's done and it's not discrediting what she's done to people in this room because it's not okay.
A handful of times how she's like, I feel really bad about the way that I treated Jesse.
I'm open to talking to her for sure. Like I definitely want closure. Even if she was just like, I was going through a shitty time and I did shitty things, like that's good enough for me. Like
I was in a shitty place and I did shitty things. That's good enough for me. I think that would have been good enough for me at a time in my life, but actually it isn't anymore. I hear you. I accept that. That doesn't mean I want to be friends with you because you will once again be in a shitty place in your life. And I need to make sure you're not going to take it out on me again. Like I need you to be healed enough that when you're going through shitty times, you don't hurt people because of it. There is a point in healing. Let's talk about it. Give me a second. So we've talked about this before, but there's just a threshold of healthy that I'm going to need people to get to. Okay. And as long as you're still on this side of it, like it's not good enough for me, you know, to be very close or trust you because until you get to here, like right here, even baby healed, just like at the very start of being in your healed era, right? Like you're going to default to the toxic behavior you've been trained to do because like we're all, you know, traumatized people on a planet. But in order to build bonds and trust, I'm going to need you to be like here. So like there are definitely people in my life that I've told them I love you. Talk to me when you figured it out, because right now in the state of being you are, when your life gets hard, you make other people's lives around you harder. And that's inappropriate and unacceptable.
I'm glad to hear that she's getting help. And I think I learned from our fight that I never want that to happen again. I wish I would have handled that better. It goes against everything we stand for in Mom Talk.
Ugh, I'm so sick of hearing that. This is everything we stand for in Mom Talk. Mom Talk stands for nothing. None of you have any values you stand on, which is so annoying. But I want, like, people keep saying like her mental health is the priority. Her mental health is the priority. Yeah, but like none of you are prioritizing mental health. You're too busy doing ketamine, which ketamine is a valid way to do therapy. I'm just making a joke. Like you guys are too busy doing this show instead of focusing on your mental health.
We want to be honest with each other and have those hard conversations, but we should never be yelling at each other. And I'm disappointed that I did that. So when she's ready, I will totally have like a calm conversation with her. And I really do hope that she's getting the help she needs. So
I mean, I hope so too. And I love that she said that. I just don't think any of it matters if it's not a symbiotic relationship, if it's not real, if it's not trust, like the same way Dakota and Taylor can't rebuild their relationship because of the toxicity of the cheating, they're not going to be able to build their friendships without it. Like, I don't think any of these girls could ever really trust each other again.
I have a hard time with someone who's sitting there being like, I've been working on myself. I've been coming so far. Things change though. Like in a week and a half, they can.
Yeah, see, do things change in a week and a half? No. It might feel that way when you're going through it, or if you've been away from someone. It could take months, it could take years, but like it doesn't happen in a week and a half. Yes, someone's going through a hard time, but that doesn't mean it doesn't matter what they've done. I think that's the problem, is like, I'm sorry you're going through a hard time. I really am. But going through a hard time does not then erase everything you've done. And it doesn't mean you've changed or learned your ways. Because how many like toxic men have you dated who've tried to pull this on you? How many toxic girlfriends have you met or dated that have tried to pull this on you? I'm better. I was toxic. I'm so sorry. You take them back and they do it again. Friendships and relationships romantically are not that different when it comes to that cycle of toxicity. Just because he's saying I've changed doesn't mean he has. Just because she's saying she's changed doesn't mean she has.
I think it's so strange to like film yourself crying, and I think it's like a little bit manipulative.
I think Demi is right that it is slightly manipulative, though it can be honest. And I think that's the difference. If my siblings send me a crying video, I know which ones are being manipulative and which ones aren't. And that's based off their character. But Demi also seems like the type of person who doesn't engage in her feelings enough and actually puts up a wall. So when Brett says like, aren't the comments getting to you about me cheating on you possibly? She's like, no. And like, that's the problem with Demi is like, she's not being vulnerable. So I don't trust her feelings either. I do not trust the person who claims to not have feelings, nor do I trust the person who's ruled by them.
And a little bit cowardly still. Like, I understand you're going through a hard time. I know you're mentally struggling, but I think also follow it up with a text to the people you have real issues with.
But also, like, didn't you say you were taking a break from mom talk? Like, why are you even contacting the girls? Right? Didn't her and Zach make this big thing about how we're not following Jen's life and for the privacy, production isn't going to follow her life? Then why are you even talking to the girls? It almost feels like she's still trying to be in mom talk without being in mom talk. See, like, I'm sorry. Like, I know people are like pretty sensitive to the mental health stuff. I mean, me too. But I think I've been, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm not really, if I'm not going to give Dakota a second chance, I don't know why we're giving Jen a second chance. Like, if we're not giving, you know what I mean? Why are we giving anybody a second chance? Why is anybody in this group giving anybody a second chance?
At this rate, I'm hesitant to tell anyone in this group anything.
Exactly, Macy. Macy said I'm hesitant to tell anybody in this group anything. Exactly. Why are any of you guys giving each other a second chance?
I'm really honest. I don't know, just because I'm seeing, you know, it's like Taylor's situation and you guys. Let's also not demonize the whole group.
So Macy's like, yeah, like, I don't feel safe in this group. And Demi's like, well, there are like real relationships in this group. Like, are there?
I am not in a good head spot. Demi brought up like the low point of my life. To bring that up was insane. It's very triggering. I know
it was deeply rude, but Taylor should take it into consideration when she's throwing stones from glass houses. This is what I'm saying. Like, either act dignified or don't. You can't act undignified and then be like, I can't believe you acted undignified back to me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why does she expect Demi to not go there when Taylor goes there?
She's like a bully. She is literally a bully. Like, if you poke at me, it's straight to war. There's no petty, there's no.
Ugh. Everyone is, the families are toxic. Everybody is so toxic.
It's just straight to war.
I'm doing all the work that I can. I mean, he's been out of my house for like almost 5 months.
He's been out of your house, but inside your body, girl. What are we talking about?
We've been going to major therapy, trauma therapy, and I'm like doing everything that we can to become better in protection of like our families.
Do you think that any of the other girls like have your back? I mean, like what's going on with Macy? I mean,
I don't know.
Do you pray? All the time?
Lately, I've been like, please help me through this because this is really hard.
I think that that's just how life is, because you're going to keep going down the same cycle until you say, I'm going to change. You need to change it. Only you can change it.
That's true. Only Taylor can change this, but it's not through Jesus Christ, girl. It's through philosophical work and therapy. Philosophical work is your relationship with existence. Therapy is for your brain and your mental health, in organizing your past and understanding why you do things. And then, you know, philosophical work is so important because, I mean, if she chooses religion, that's fine. That's philosophy, but it's your why. It's your why you exist, why you're on the planet, why you believe what you believe, where are your values. It's your purpose, not purpose in a grand scheme. Like, they're not purpose like destiny or something, like not purpose like God put you on the earth purpose, but like your sense of self, your foundational relationship with self. And you got to know that. Until I knew that, I just didn't understand myself. And I'm learning new things about myself every day because I'm constantly deconstructing, which is so important. But like, there's no deconstruction here. There's no really pulling things apart in a way that like is going to help. Though I guess the therapy work is helping, but like, they're not really like, I wish her and Dakota could talk to each other analytically and not just emotionally. Like, I wish they could sit down and really deconstruct their relationship and their values and what they really want, but they always engage emotionally. They're always like in the emotional toxicity of it. They're not being like logical. They're being just emotional, but I wish you could be both in like a very embodied way. But you know, that takes skills. That takes time to figure out. And so I hope she figures it out.
I'm extremely frustrated to have to even have this conversation right now. Taylor is the problem. How can you not see that?
Taylor is the problem. How can you not see that? Taylor is the problem. Yeah, I think we're all the problem. The question is, which one of us is going to do the work to be less of the problem / harm reduce.
A lot of people are intimidated by her.
Do you guys ever think about like
they're escalators? All of them are escalators. They all escalate, you know, not all of them, but like Demi is escalating. Taylor's escalating. Like who's the de-escalator? Macy, I guess?
where Taylor would be and what she'd be like right now if she had never met Dakota?
I think she thinks about it all the time.
I can't imagine. That's probably why like she feels so erratic all the time.
Damn. Someone different, but someone the same. Kind of the same, but kind of different. Yeah.
Hasn't she always been that way though?
I feel like she has the tendency more often ever since the whole swinging thing. Like I feel like Taylor was a lot more mellow.
I think that she chases chaos.
I mean, I would say that we're all chasing meaning. As Vervaeke says, we're in a meaning crisis. Like we're chasing meaning. We don't know the meaning of our lives.
I feel like Demi is playing a game of who can stab the knife in deeper and twist it harder. I just feel like she's losing perspective of what really matters with mom talk.
Yeah, Demi is becoming like the godfather of the mom TikTok. Like she's going too far. She's escalating. She's not wise. No one's wise. And I'm curious to see really if there's going to be a season 3.
No. So we're going to do this.
Layla wants to do a thing where they all pee on pregnancy sticks together, but like that's such a private thing. It's like she said she saw it on TikTok, but like this is so private. See, these are private moments. What about your partners? What about respect to your partners? What if somebody is pregnant, they don't know? What if someone's pregnant and they don't want to say? Like this is such an intimate thing.
This is a cruel prank because what if someone is and then it's not me? This isn't traumatic at all. I don't cry every single time I take a test and get a negative.
This is such a bad idea. I hate this idea.
Oh shit, I'm pregnant.
I'm so nervous. I'm like, no. You're kidding.
I literally got one.
Who's pregnant? This is so sad. Their partner is missing out on this.
I knew it!
Wait, a false positive is a thing. I had a false positive once.
Whoever here is pregnant is like pregnant. Everyone's shocked. I mean, I'm not shocked. I'm like, oh my gosh, what? It's a positive? But like, it's because I genuinely feel.
Oh, it's Macy. Duh, because Macy had IVF and she had the, obviously. Duh, we know that. I'm sitting here like, who is it? It's Macy, obviously.
Oh my God.
This is crazy. Wait, guys.
Get ready.
So is Macy like lying right now to the girls? That's what I mean. Like, I don't like keeping secrets like this from my friends because it feels like a lie. I'm so autistic, but that just feels like a lie to me. Like she knows she's the one who's pregnant. Now you're just lying to your friends and pretending like you don't already know. Now I don't like stuff like this, but maybe I'm not normie enough to get it.
You're lying.
Oh my God, a second positive? This is crazy, bro. This is crazy. I felt like that was gonna happen, but it's still crazy. Demi's having a hard time because she's like, I hate peeing on a pregnancy stick. I feel horrible every time because it's always negative. Maybe it's her though, or maybe it's not. That is sad. See, this is emotional. I don't like it. I don't like putting people in this position.
Okay, sorry.
You're good. It's okay.
I can't even explain how deeply sad I'm feeling in this moment. Initial reaction is like, holy shit, I'm pregnant. And then I'm like, wait, no, there's no way that you're pregnant. Like, there's no way all you get is negative tests.
Ugh, damn. That makes me sad, bro. I am sad for her. I'm sad for this. I don't like this. I mean, it's, you know, I get it, but like, yeah, I'm sad for Demi. That's sad.
Who is it?
If someone actually knows they're pregnant or 2 people, like this isn't fair to her.
Yeah.
Like we have
Yeah, say it, Macy.
to. This isn't.
Like at least say like.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know what to do. I feel horrible for her, but also like this was not how I was picturing telling everyone I was pregnant.
Okay, yes, and that's true. See, this is the problem with doing things like this. It doesn't allow people the consent of holding their privacy sacred. So like Macy shouldn't have participated. In some aspect, none of them should have, because like pregnancy is so personal. Some people don't even announce they're pregnant until they're in their 2nd trimester. Like some people don't even tell people they're pregnant until way later. So like just, you know, yeah, I feel like this was kind of a cruel idea, but why did they participate? Why does everyone participate? Why can't anyone just say, no, this is a bad idea? There's no wisdom in this group. There's nobody to really lead and say, guys, I love you. I think this would be fun for TV, but this is going to be so deeply cruel. It's like nobody can think ahead. Nobody can truly consider anything.
I know, well, it's hard too because it's like, now I feel like you can't be excited.
I know.
This is not how I saw myself announcing my pregnancy to all the girls, but it's true. I'm
Oh, so it's Michaela and Macy. Oh, damn. Yeah, it's hard to know what the right thing to do is. The right thing to do was never to play that game.
No one else is claiming the second pregnancy test, so I'm like, well, I'm definitely not going to speak up, especially now that Demi's like sobbing and everyone's consoling her.
Interesting. Does Michaela not know that Macy's pregnant?
She's opened up to me about her fertility journey, and I've seen so much of that emotion and heartbreak. So seeing this reaction is so hard to witness, and I really hope that she's okay.
Doing IVF the whole time and you didn't tell me?
So now Macy and Michaela have bonded over being pregnant, and I'm really happy for them and everything. But it's one of those things where, yeah, this group is so toxic that even like something like a pregnancy isn't a safe conversation because everyone's going through it, which like makes sense. There's also all this pressure in this Mormon bubble to keep having babies. And like, that's a whole other conversation. It really is a bubble. Like, I forget how far away from my reality this bubble is. Like, my life is so different than this bubble. Like, my friends, my family members, like, even though we're Catholic and there is a part of the family that is very much like make babies, I don't have a lot of married siblings. So a lot of us are not making babies. And even though I'm married, we're not having children. So different. It's just so different, right? They're actively all trying to make as many babies as they can. I guess except Whitney, who her husband got snipped, but damn.
What? Is it you too? I knew it. Okay.
Let's redo because I feel bad that was my reaction.
No one blames you. And that was awful for you. That was very terrible.
Yeah, that was awful. And no one should blame Demi for her reaction. That was just pure biological reaction. That was not up to her. That was up to her body releasing all of the pent up stress and energy. That was absolutely understandable.
This is so exciting for both of them and how fun that these two best friends get to be pregnant together. I'm also feeling so stupid and so bad that I made that moment about myself.
Okay, so this is a really good example of what I've been saying about a biological experiences versus more of a introspective free will one. I don't think we really have as much free will as we think we do. Like, Demi did not have free will in that moment to have a say over her biological reaction to that situation. Her body, her brain, it reacted. And that's why we have to be compassionate and kind to ourselves, because we are evolved animals. We really are biological creatures. You know, I know people believe in God in this bubble, and that's really great and everything, but like, okay, Demi did not have free will in that moment. So she shouldn't feel stupid. She should just be honest and be like, yeah, damn, I'm feeling a lot. I'm not allowing myself to feel. Like, that's Demi's problem. She's not allowing herself to feel her feelings. And so of course it's going to impact very hard once it spills over, right? It was like the straw that broke the camel's back. So lots of empathy, lots of love, lots of understanding. And then now moving forward, this is her engaging in free will and saying, I should be happy. My friends are pregnant. I'm stoked for them. That's her engaging in free will. But like, she couldn't have done anything about her reaction. And that's the thing. That's why I can be very forgiving to people who have like kind of like crazy moments in life, because sometimes we don't have control over our bodies the way we think we do. But it's not what you do in one moment. It's what you do time and time and time again. One moment is a one moment. A moment repeated over a pattern of a long time. That's just, you know, that's just a reputation. Ooh, that's just a reputation, you know? Okay, wait. So Demi and Jesse they're in New Orleans market. They're walking around. They're going to have a deep conversation. Great place to have it in public. I'm being sarcastic. I've been to New Orleans. I've been through those marketplaces. It is so fun. Actually, I'm not wearing them right now, but I wear one of the pair of earrings I wear all the time. I got them in New Orleans. Love New Orleans.
How do you feel about it?
She was, telling you she was going to come to me, and your immediate thing was like, wait, hold on, don't go there. So for me, that's hurtful to hear, because it's like she was telling you she was going to come to me, and like your immediate thing wasn't to just be like, oh, you're right. Like, she has a full salon that's well known over the country. Yeah. Like, it's not like I just opened a one chair salon. I'm doing my best. Like, it almost felt like you were taking business away from me. And so it just was like, oh, to hear that, especially after everything I've done for the girls in this group. Free hairstyles, free hair every time you need it.
Whoa! Are they taking free labor from their friend? Listen to me as somebody who grew up as Syrian with all of us with little businesses, a little fucking gas station store here, a little mart here, stop taking free stuff from your relatives. I know your relatives want to give it to you for free, but stop. They're paying tax on these items. They owe the government money. Like, pay people in your life. If you love somebody, shop at their store and pay their prices. I understand a discount on occasion. That's beautiful. But ultimately, like, you have to pay people.
I just feel like I get so taken advantage of. Like, it just sucks that I do everything for everyone. And like, then to just have my business be shit on, like, sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. I want a clear answer from Demi. Do you not think she's worth it? And if she's not, does she need to step up her game?
I hear where you're coming from and I understand, but I want you to know that the way that it was spun and twisted, like her saying that if you go to Jay-Z, plan to cry or whatever, if you don't want to cry, don't go to Jay-Z.
Yeah.
That was never said, and it wasn't said in that way.
In this moment, I am feeling betrayed and kind of deflated. Hearing her explanations makes me feel worse, to be honest.
Me too. Hearing her explanations make me think like, uh-oh, Demi, what did you say?
Because I don't think she means her apology. She's blaming it on other people. So it has opened my eyes to a lot of things. And it does make me wonder if Demi is the cancer in this group.
Oh my God. It's interesting how they're all trying to figure it out. I don't think it's one person. Like, I don't think one person is the villain in Mom Talk. Do you guys think there's like a villain for real? Like, for real, do you think there's like one person we could kick out and the whole group would be healthy? Like, no, right?
I think I'm gonna put a wall up and keep a little distance from her moving forward.
In the Mormon church, once a woman turns 13, we have this thing called Young Women's that you go to.
Have you ever been to the temple?
Of course I have.
Oh, I forgot your first marriage.
Yes!
In Latter-day Saint religion, the temple is very sacred and holy, and you need to live a certain way. And you go through an interview process through your bishop to be worthy to enter the temple.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't believe, but if I did, this
You don't
freaks
believe
me out.
any of it?
Do you believe the afterlife of it?
Yeah, in a sense, like some of it. Yeah, I feel like, how do we really know?
Faith.
There were no phones back then. There's no proof. But what I was gonna say is I don't really believe, but this freaked me out is when I was trying to get my sealing canceled, my bishop was like, yeah, well, if you don't get it canceled, technically, like your son's sealed to your ex because it's his DNA and your.
Oh my God. Okay, all the ex-Mormons in my community, you're what? I love this conversation. Like, do we believe in it? Is it real to us? Do we have a connection to it? Like, especially when you leave a religion and everybody you knew growing up is a part of the religion and like you have this whole extended community.
Within the church, if you don't get your sealing broken, your sealing is your marriage, then you're still married in the eyes of the church. And they believe that after you pass on, you're sealed forever. So
when her first husband was abusive. So in the Catholic Church, we get annulments. So you have to get an annulment by the church, which means the marriage is now dissolved according to the eyes of the church. So like if you get a legal divorce through the government that has nothing to do with the Catholic Church, acknowledging your marriage ending, you still have to get an annulment.
Technically, I'm still sealed to my ex-husband, which means we would be together in the afterlife and I wouldn't be with my current husband.
Part of the reason it was really hard for my family when like Chase first left the church was because Chase had like removed his records, which means that I'm no longer sealed to my children because essentially you need a man in order to be in the highest degree.
And can't they have each
Boo! Patriarchy, misogyny, boo!
You've been through the temple, right, Demi?
Yeah. You want to one day?
If I marry Cam, I probably will for him.
For him? Uh-oh.
That's not good.
I don't like that.
How's that bad?
I think that Demi is definitely very harsh and I'm so over it. Going through the temple is something that's very important to Cam. It's something that he's always wanted for himself, for his future.
They're not on the same page. So Cam and Layla aren't having the same relationship with the religion. They're not high compatibility partners. They don't see reality the same. Demi's right. Doing it for Cam is the wrong reason to do it. I am not a fan of that. I don't think your partner should do anything religious or serious for you. I think you guys should do it because you believe in it and you're on the same page. Converting for your partner is bullshit. Converting for their family, bullshit. Like doing some temple relationship for your husband, but you don't really believe in it. I do think that's bullshit. I wouldn't marry somebody who only did it for me. Because if either it's that important to you and you need someone on the same page as you, or like, what are we doing here?
Since you're kind of like up and down with some of the people in the group, are you going to invite everyone to your Christmas party then?
I am just hoping that it's positive and that we're able to end the year on a high note.
So if they're talking about Christmas and the New Year and we're in July, I'm recording this in July. This happened, like how much has happened in the last 6 months, 7 months that we don't even know about? Because this TV show, I guess that's what the reunion is for. So next episode is the last one, then the reunion. And I guess the reunion probably has it's more updated, I guess.
Brett and I are hosting that and he is like he's equally as unhappy with Taylor as I am. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on like if everyone feels like Taylor deserves to be here and she puts in the effort and the work and she's a good representation of what Mom Talk originally was meant to be.
So Demi is taking leadership and she's saying, I'm not having somebody in the group who's going to, you know, challenge the health of mom talk. So she really is trying to gun for number one.
And tonight, I really want people to be like, we understand where you're coming from. Like, yeah, we don't have any need for her to even stick around.
Damn.
That's hard because I feel like there's times when things ebb and flow with everyone, but also health issues really put things into perspective. So I just feel like if she did apologize and she's making changes, I have to like, okay, what am I going to do? Hold a grudge forever?
You take it how you will, but as your friend, that wasn't an apology and that was not humility coming in there and being like, I genuinely want to change. It hurts the group as a whole.
Kind of at a loss because I do really want to give her the benefit of the doubt, but I'm still coming from a place of hurt that I'm trying to heal. So I think I'm just hypersensitive.
It's toxic as hell. And for me, as of now, I'm kind of like, if Taylor's in, I'm out.
Oh, Demi's giving an ultimatum. So the girls have been talking. They've all been expressing hurt, concern. I love the costumes. They all look really pretty tonight. They're in like this little goth vampire kind of vibe at restaurant. Basically, Demi's saying if Taylor's in, I'm out. She's saying, you know, how many chances are you going to give her? Jesse's saying, well, you know, this is the last chance, basically. And Demi's like, well, how many more are we going to give her for real? And that's a question. Like, that's a good question. When do you stop giving a person a chance?
We all have different relationships with her, and I think it's not fair to kick her out. I also don't think it's fair for you just to leave if she's in.
Honestly, though, if this is the ultimatum Demi is giving, I choose Taylor. Not because I'd like Taylor. I think this is like very inappropriate of an ultimatum for Demi to give, to be honest. I think it would be better for Demi to say, if you guys want Taylor in this group, I'm going to start my own group because I can't be in this dynamic anymore. But for her to be like, choose me or Taylor, like, I don't get that. It'd be different if Demi said, hey, girls, I need to be really honest with you. I am torn up being in this group, being in this dynamic. I'd like to start something of my own. I know that this is Taylor's thing and I want to give her that, but I need to do something of my own. That would have been more reasonable instead of like me or Taylor. How about none of you?
Talk, we all move forward together in our friend group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Would that be fair for?
Ooh, I bet Demi didn't see that coming. It feels like Demi looks a little shocked that the girls are standing up for Taylor.
Me to do though with the Whitney situation. If I was like, well, if Whitney's in, I'm out.
But Whitney's life doesn't take over the group. Taylor is so self-centered and so selfish. And to me, it's like, we've had Whitney here this weekend. It's been great. Like that
for you though. If Taylor was here, it wouldn't have been bad for me, but it would have been bad for you.
Ooh, very good. Very good. This is a good conversation. This is important. This is the distinction that not everybody feels that way about Taylor. But Demi feels like, because I feel this way, all of you do. Michaela spoke for the group initially and said, we all don't want to be friends with Whitney. But then Demi said, well, I'll be friends with Whitney. And Macy's like, well, maybe I'll be friends with Whitney. Michaela's like, well, I'm friends with Taylor.
Well, the level of the offense matters. And to me, I think that Taylor's more of a liability in this situation, given the fact that she is the face.
Do I think that Taylor has narcissistic tendencies? 1,000%. I'm still on thin ice with a lot of the women.
For the record, I don't think Taylor is a narcissist. I think Taylor is wounded and defensive, and the way that she takes control in her life is to lash out, and that's what makes her feel powerful, which could be associated with NPD tendencies. But from all the books I've read about narcissism, she doesn't give me NPD, but she does give me wounded. She gives me maybe borderline, like maybe other things, but not like traditional NPD. I don't think that's where Taylor's coming from. I think like everyone's just so toxic. I think like we throw around the N-word like way too much, like the narcissist word, because we don't know what it means. But all of these women are narcissistic enough to be on TV, which I am too. Obviously, I think make good quality content. I have an ego that tells me my content's good. I make a living doing this. I have proof. The data shows like we all have to have healthy narcissism, healthy ego, but we also have to have humility to balance out the toxicity. And the problem is like there's a lack of humility in this group. So there's nothing wrong with thinking you're cool enough to be on TV, right? The people who are, but at the end of the day, without humility, you just become like an airheaded, egotistical movie star, right?
Yeah, I'm going to zip my lips, but I do agree with Demi.
Interesting that Whitney's not saying anything here, but she does agree with Demi.
Is this a group of women empowering each other and taking the turns on the spotlight, or is this the Taylor show?
I don't know, I haven't felt that way.
It affects us when we go do events and who gets the opportunities and who gets interviews and stuff like that. And for me, I'm like, why are we putting this person on a pedestal?
Yeah, Demi's making a mistake of thinking they're getting interviews because it's mom talk and not that they're getting interviews because it's Taylor. Like at the end of the day, like Taylor is so much more of a main character than Demi. To me, at least as an audience member who's not involved, I am much more interested in Taylor's life than Demi's life. I'm just not interested in Demi. I like her. her like well enough, but I don't really care about her life. I'm interested in Whitney's life, Taylor's life, and funny enough, Miranda. I think I think Whitney, Miranda, and Taylor are the most interesting to me right now.
Some opportunities we have are sometimes because of her, you know?
That's fine, but I've learned too much about her now to continue riding the clout. Like, if this is part friendship, part business, like, if this were a normal business, she'd be gone with the things that she's doing.
I don't think that's true. I think some businesses, like Demi said, that if this was a regular business and not just friendship, Taylor would be out. I don't think that's true. Lots of people are in business and they're completely unethical and completely crazy and completely off their rocker and cheating and lying and deceiving, and they're all in business together. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's true. I think the difference here is that, like, I think Demi is miscategorizing the situation, and so she's making the wrong move. It's really interesting to see, and of course it's part of the edit, and of course this is how I feel because of the edit. What a weird ultimatum to give to the group. Like, genuinely weird. But I think because Demi in this season hit 1 million followers, she's probably feeling pretty confident. She really should just go out on her own then.
I don't know what she's willing to do to get to the top, so that's very concerning for me.
You and Jessie, though, you weren't supporting her business, but she still is fine with that.
That's different.
How is it different?
We're all a part of the same business. I'm not part of Jessie's business.
I know, but you're her best friend.
I wasn't her best friend at the time.
Oh. Yo, Demi!
I am so frustrated right now. It's like, are we gonna do what's right, girls? What is mom talk if it's not on standing on business, standing on what's right, and creating an environment that's healthy and conducive to success?
Has Demi been watching like the boys who sell courses on the internet? What are you talking about? What is she even on? What finance guru bubble is she in? She's been listening to Dave Ramsey. She's like, Dave Ramsey would not approve. Like, what are you talking about, Demi? What is she on about? What is this edit? What is this whole thing? She's being so weird.
I'm so disappointed in everyone. I feel like I'm
very disappointed in you girls. Like, what?
An island right now. This is the last thing I'll say is that you guys do what you will with it, but like, she genuinely tarnishes what mom talk was meant to be.
I think Demi wants to kick Taylor out of mom talk because Taylor's a threat to her and it's the easiest solution to that problem.
I don't know what's going on here, but I don't want to have to choose a side. I love Demi and I think she's great. But how many friendships do you know where you have to be voted out or in?
Manipulating the situation to be like, hey, I'm gonna walk if Taylor's here isn't fair to the rest of us.
It's so unfair. It's so unethical. What a move. What a decision she made.
I think that Demi secretly wants to be the leader of Mom Talk, but
it's not a secret. It's not a secret now.
Taylor did start Mom Talk. We're all here because of her. I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, we have one more episode and then the season's done and then the reunion. I've recorded 3 videos today, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a night and take a rest, edit, and get these up for you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing your thoughts in the sections down below. And wow, honestly, I feel like YouTube drama is less dramatic than this. And I think I'm more grateful for YouTube drama. Maybe it really is because all of our stuff is in real time out there. Yeah, maybe because the ecosystem and YouTube moves so fast that everything's just so out there versus this does not feel that way because it's TV and people have to wait and there's like a lot of teasing about what's coming next season. Yo, give me YouTube drama any day. I never thought I'd be grateful for YouTube drama, but I think I'm grateful. Okay, talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.